Just as an update before we begin today's video, the form that is accepting responses regarding PC players' experiences with the game is still ongoing. If you haven't already, check the link in the description to fill out the form, or pass it on to those who play on PC if you aren't a PC player. Thank you for your cooperation in researching this topic. Welcome to a video where I showcase 5 things that you may or may not know. Some of these facts may be in plain sight to some, but for others, this may be the very first time that you hear about them. Let's get started. Starting things off, did you know, in Garden Warfare 2, there is a strange interaction with the drone? Specifically, if either the garlic drone gets close to a Mr. Toasty or a parrot pal gets close to a snapdragon, one can notice that despite the respective pot and bot constantly attacking the drone, nothing seems to happen to it at all. This is actually because, according to a member of the Frostbite modding server, they state that it is likely because these two particular pots use buff spreaders rather than directly dealing damage. This means that whilst it works fine in most cases against normal players, it does not work at all against drones, hence why nothing happens to them at all. This is most likely an oversight on the developers, though it is humorous that you can just control a parrot right up to a fire-breathing plant and they'll be completely unscathed. Secondly, did you also know, Sprint Burrow has a programming quirk which involves its ability to attack and assassinate enemies. Unlike the normal burrow, which allows you to perform the attack as often as you like until you catch someone, Sprint Burrow for some reason was programmed to only have one ammo for that attack and then take 10 seconds to reload. The problem, however, is that Sprint Burrow lasts no longer than 5 seconds at a time, so you literally only have one chance per use to assassinate someone. This explains why Sprint Burrow can feel extremely clunky when it comes to killing enemies, and why it is more often just used for mobility rather than killing enemies. Next, heading over to BFN, did you know, thanks to a discovery by Fireboogaloo, there's a trick you can do as a scientist that if timed correctly can practically mitigate the effects of Grody goop. Normally, if you're in a Grody goop cloud for 1 second, it will inflict you with its status effect, dealing 40 damage and applying the damage over time effect. However, if you are a scientist, then you can actually avoid being infected by simply just turning on the heal hose. Now, if I repeat the same scenario, we can see that despite us being completely engulfed and staying in the cloud for the full duration, we are not being infected at all. This even applies if we get a teammate infected and have them stand right next to the scientist, they still aren't getting infected at all. Whether or not this is a bug or just an oversight on the developer's half is not clear, but it is an edge that scientists can have against chompers if they know how to plan accordingly. Heading all the way back to the original tower defense game, did you know, in the Zen garden, normally when mushrooms are taken out of the mushroom garden, they will sleep and not be able to be watered, grown, or treated. However, if you treat a fully grown mushroom until it has the golden aura around them and then take them into the normal garden, despite it being daytime, the mushroom will stay awake and it will grant you coins. This can be useful in farming coins early on when you first get the Zen garden and don't have enough plants to completely fill up the first area, as to maximize the amount of profit you can make for each time you visit. Lastly, did you know, whilst it is common knowledge that Chomper for some fucking reason can eat an entire Zamboni, what you may not know is that this logic of complete bullshit also transfers to the fucking bobsled, and he can eat the entire vehicle and all 4 bobsled passengers inside of the damn thing in one single bite. This actually makes Chomper one of the stronger plants to bring in for the bobsled bonanza game mode, since he is effectively a reusable instant plant that does not follow the laws of physics and can just eat entire Zambonis and bobsleds, because fuck logic.